background here. This video is only going to work if you're doing your GCSEs. I am doing my first year of A-levels, and when this video goes out you should be just going into the last term if you live in the UK. And if you're in year 11 or possibly year 10, depending on when you do your exams, this is going to be the term for your GCSE exams. And some things that I wish that I didn't know when I started it, so I thought I'd tell you guys, so that you guys know it, so that I can feel better about going through the rubbishness that was GCSEs. Okay, so the first one is an obvious one. You'll have heard it so many times before, but revise. It's as simple as that. The earlier you start, the better, really. And my advice would be, rather than just cramming at the end, do little bits throughout the whole year. You'll feel much better about it. When I did my mocks, I had to revise a certain set of things for my mocks, which are a couple of months before your actual exams. When it came to the actual exams, when I came back to revising the topics that I did in my mocks, I was so much better at them. Those are the ones that I was so much more confident in. Even if it's months and months ahead, just going over stuff once will help. Like, none of it's gonna be a hindrance. If cramming works for you, do it, but don't let that be the only thing that you do. You know, you need to revise as well. Which leads on to, you need to make sure that you're using quite a variety of revision methods. There's going to be a video of me doing a revision time-lapse coming up soon. You'll see that I do mostly the same stuff in the video, but as a general rule, try and mix things up a bit. Buy textbooks, because they're good for motivation. If you spent £20 odd on a textbook, you're going to want to use it, but don't just use textbooks. There's things like YouTube videos and GCSE Pod, which is podcasts based on GCSE topics, which is really helpful. Just anything like that. Just so you're mixing things up a bit, otherwise you're just going to get bored and you're not going to be able to concentrate or remember anything. Also, similar to that, your lessons are all going to be pretty similar, but your lessons are just a learning bit, like that's completely separate from revision, and they're probably going to get boring towards the end because you're going to be doing the same thing. Don't blame your teachers for this. You know, as soon as you start to blame your teachers and get sort of annoyed at your teachers, and yeah, you might not like them, but as soon as that starts to happen, you're not going to enjoy your lessons as much, and you're not going to be able to concentrate, and you're just going to think, oh, it's a teacher's fault if I do bad in this, and that's just not the way to do it. Revision will always be easier if you stay organised. If you do things like a revision timetable, if that works for you, then do that, but I know it just doesn't work for some people. Stationery is great. Go out and buy a load of really funky highlighters and then use them. I mean, everyone likes stationery. Things like planning 3 steps ahead. My rule was always 3 steps ahead, so you've got 3 exams in the future, just think about those 3 exams. Or you've got a whole list of like coursework to do, just think 3 steps ahead, do those 3 steps. When you've done, start again, because that way you don't get overwhelmed by, oh my god, look at all the stuff that you have to do, and then you just get nothing done. In the immortal words of Douglas Adams, don't panic. The worst possible thing that you can do is panic. Doesn't matter how prepared you are, if you walk into that exam and you panic, you will not do very well. I know that's easier said than done, but just take into account that you need to be calm, and that means getting a good night's sleep, whatever. Remember that most of the time GCSEs is only important for getting onto the A-level courses that you want to do, so yeah, they are kind of important, but they're not the be-all and end-all. That being said, you know, you do want to take them seriously, if just for the fact that you want to get the good grades, because that's what you want. Like, you will feel better about yourself if you get better grades. But remember that, you know, your whole future doesn't depend on this, unlike with A-levels, but that's a whole other matter. You also need to stay motivated. It's really important that you stay motivated. As soon as you sort of stop caring, then you're just not going to get anything done. Things that I used to get motivated were things like stupid things like watching Educated Yorkshire and watching people properly fail their GCSEs, or like not being able to like do anything because they had to just revise so that they could pass the second time round, and that made me think I really need to do work because I don't want this to happen. And things like, as I said, buying textbooks and stationery, you know, that's always really motivating. I like to plan videos in my head of explaining topics and sort of making lesson plans, because that sort of gives you a motivation for what you want to do, because you know, there's an audience. Even if there never ends up being an audience, if you sort of tell yourself that there will be, that gives you a motivation for getting it done. A couple of like little sort of treats that you can do as well. I work by the 45-15 minute rule, so that's 45 minutes of revision and then 15 minutes of break. and just keep going on that. Or sometimes if I'm feeling particularly motivated, I'll just do 2 45 minutes next to each other and then sort of save up the 15 minutes so I can like spend them. So say if I do an hour and a half, I've then got half an hour of a break if I want it. There's also the chocolate method, as I've called it in my notes, where you're working from a textbook and you sort of put like a chocolate or like a Haribo or something on different paragraphs, and when you reach them then you get that, and it's sort of like a reward and motivation for going forward. My last tip is to socialise. If you're friends with people in your year group, and you might not be, but assuming that you at least know some other people, then they're all going to be doing the same thing, so you might as well revise with them. You're probably not going to get much socialisation done at this point, but completely isolating yourself is just not going to help you at all. So if you revise with other people, then you sort of get to do the socialising thing, so mentally you're better, but you also get to revise, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time. It's also, I think, really important to remember that everyone's really stressed at this point. Tensions are going to be high with everyone, and maybe sort of fights might happen, or tensions just might be high within friendship groups, and it's easy to forget that they're going through the same stressful thing that you are. So remember that, it's not going to help if like you're fighting with your friends. It's just going to add to your stresses. So try and sort of forgive and move on, and if it's something you want to address after your exams, do it, but at this point you need to just concentrate on what's important, and that's passing your GCSEs, and deal with that later. Just push it away. And that was my things that I wish that I knew when I started my GCSEs. I wish I could make an A-level one for myself. If you invent time travel, a future Amy, please tell me, because I need help. Help me. If you have any requests or questions, I will leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. But nobody ever does, so I'll definitely get back to you as there's not much competition going on in the comments. Good luck with your GCSEs or whatever exams that you're doing at the moment. I'm sure you'll do fine. There's a fly on the window. I'm gonna go get rid of the fly. Bye.